Episode 9, The Betrayal. The morning light filtered through the windows of a small Parisian cafe, casting a warm glow over the table where Sophie and Julien sat. The gentle clink of coffee cups and murmur of patrons contrasted sharply with the tension etched on their faces. Pages from the ancient journal lay spread before them, covered in cryptic symbols and ominous inscriptions. "If we don't stop them now, this will spiral out of control," Sophie said, her voice edged with urgency. "The order won't stop until they have everything." Julien's gaze was steady. "I've got contacts who can help us, but we need to be careful. We don't know who we can trust." The weight of his words lingered between them. Time was slipping away, and the stakes had never been higher. Later that day, Julien led Sophie to a discreet office tucked in a narrow Parisian alley. There, a cryptologist named Claire awaited them. Her sharp eyes gleamed with curiosity as she scanned the journal's final section. "This describes a ritual tied to an ancient artifact, the Crystal of Shadows," Claire explained, her fingers tracing the faded text. "If the ritual is completed, the Order will fully awaken the Serpent Guardian. They'll control shadows themselves." Sophie's breath caught. "When is the ritual supposed to happen?" Claire's expression darkened. "During the lunar eclipse, tonight." A heavy silence descended upon the room. They were out of time. As twilight fell, Sophie and Julien followed Claire's directions to an abandoned cathedral on the outskirts of Paris. The once majestic structure loomed against the darkening sky, its towering spires silhouetted by the rising moon. Inside, the air was thick with dampness and the lingering echoes of forgotten prayers. Their footsteps echoed through the cavernous space as they made their way toward the altar. Shadows flickered across the ancient stone walls, and unease prickled at Sophie's senses. Without warning, the massive doors slammed shut. Hooded figures emerged from the darkness, their robes swaying like spectres. Claire stepped forward, her face illuminated by the flickering light. "You really thought you could outsmart the Order?" she sneered, pulling back her hood. "The Serpent chooses who it serves, and it's certainly not you." Sophie's heart sank. "You betrayed us." Claire's smile was cold. "You were never in control, Sophie. You just didn't know it." The Order closed in, forcing Sophie and Julien to relinquish the Serpent key and the hourglass. Triumph gleamed in Claire's eyes as the artifacts were placed on the altar. As the lunar eclipse began, the cathedral was bathed in an eerie red glow. The Order's chanting reverberated through the space, an ancient language that seemed to stir the very shadows around them. The Crystal of Shadows, now at the centre of the altar, pulsed with dark energy. Tendrils of shadow writhed and twisted, growing stronger with each chant. Sophie's voice was resolute. "We have to stop them. If they complete this, it's over." Julien's jaw tightened. "Then we break the crystal." They exchanged a determined glance before springing into action. Julien created a diversion, knocking over ceremonial torches and scattering the hooded figures. Sophie sprinted toward the altar, her heart pounding. The shadows lashed out, but she pressed forward, fueled by sheer determination. Just as she reached the crystal, a massive shadow creature rose from the swirling darkness. Its eyes gleamed with malevolent intent, and its form radiated raw power. Sophie skidded to a halt, her breath ragged. The creature loomed before her, blocking her path. The episode ended with Sophie standing her ground, defiance blazing in her eyes as the screen faded to black.